Okay, I don't feel super prepared for this video, but we're gonna try. Okay, guys, I want to show you something that I've been working on. It's taken up a lot of my my brain space and also a lot of my Blender time. It is called Scaffold World, which is a silly, stupid name, but it's silly, but it's also completely accurate, and I think it's also kind of cool as a sci-fi concept. And the concept is like humans on a dying Earth at the center of a dying sun. Like the sun is doing the thing where it expands and envelops the planets. So a lot of Earthlings, they made a ship with just kind of the basics that you need to survive, a basic farm, a basic soft, nice resting space, but they also have like a manufacturing facility on there where you get the inputs of space matter, like moons and asteroids and stuff like that, and it outputs scaffolding so that they can keep building. They knew that this would be like an interstellar type of ship, and so they knew that it would have to be like generations and generations and generations between starting this new way of life away from Earth and when they finally get to a new star. And so they kind of planned for that and made sure that this could be like a living, breathing type of world. And that's exactly what it is. At this point in time, it has like it's going across to another star. It's kind of in between stars, which I know a lot of the lighting isn't super realistic in that sense. It's kind of assuming that there's a star nice and close, but I'll get there, don't worry. Yeah, it just kind of keeps building and building, and now it's been like millennia. They've been on this world for millennia, and it's as complex as like as another world would be, where there's countries and different languages and different religions. There are like warring countries and people that disagree, and there's histories. And ideally, if I had all the time and energy in the world, I'd want to flesh this out, but I know my track record with big projects, and it's not super great, but whatever. It's just fun to like think about and have in the back pocket and just like make renders of every once in a while, I think. So yeah, here's some of my initial renders of Scaffold World. Just like some ideas. These ones are a bit gritty. Yeah, that's kind of, I think these last two, yeah, those are kind of dumb. Yeah, so I just kind of want to show you guys how I made it, because it is it was very geometry nodes heavy. I knew I'd have to make a lot of scaffolding, and I feel like geometry nodes is perfect for that. So I'll just like really quickly try and show you what I did. Here I am in an old version of Blender. So the original scaffolding that I had was this one, and so what I originally did was I just modeled a bunch of different scaffolding pieces that could fit together, and then in geometry nodes I built a simple array, which, if you don't know how to do that, it's just kind of like a mesh line, and with however many instances far apart you want, and on each one of those instances is another mesh line. On each one of those instances is another mesh line. Yeah, here's a kind of a thing. I don't know if I need those realized instances on there. I'm honestly not super great at geometry nodes, but I'm kind of proud of how this worked out, so I want to show it off. But yeah, with that array, as you can see, I have them going into the group inputs of this geometry nodes thing, and so I can control how many rows and how many columns and how high I want it, the X, Y, and Z, and it all just kind of like updates in real time, which is kind of great. You know, actually this is a little bit better. A couple other options I have which are kind of cool is I have this Boolean thing where it kind of eats away at the instances that are in my array. Honestly, I made this a few months ago. I can't remember very well how it works. I think I watched a video for this about Booleaning instances in geometry nodes. I'll try and find it, and I'll link it down below. But yeah, right now I have this icosphere hooked up to it, and if I took the take the display of it off. You can kind of see it a little bit better. So yeah, you can see it kind of eating away at all the pieces, and you can make some really interesting ideas. Should really get a better world. So yeah, you can see you get some really cool ideas. Let's like bring this up a little bit. Oh, wrong way. Yeah, I think that's really cool. So you can see where the icosphere would be, especially if I show it for you guys. Whoops. There it is. Okay, maybe you can't really see it. But yeah, I think that's really cool. One more thing that I did was I made a jank. I have a jank on-off thing here. It doesn't really do that much when it's small like this, but let's make this kind of. Let's bring the Y down. Let's bring the Z up a bunch. If we turn the jank on. Okay, it doesn't look like it did that much, but I feel like especially when you can see like those pattern holes, like when you're driving and you're going by a cornfield, and you can kind of see like there's a very distinct like, oh, there's no corn in this one angle that I'm looking at. I was getting a lot of that with this. You still can see it quite a bit. But yeah, you can't really see it. I'll turn the drink amount up a little bit. That way I think it's a little bit more noticeable. I also have it hooked up to my noise system, my perfectly looped noise system, which I have a video for that I made a few months ago. Where is it? Here it is. So that if I wanted to, so it kind of gives it the impression that it's going through like a gravity field or something like that. Like that's kind of one of the plot points that I wanted to discuss. Yeah, I have one really good video of it. I'll show you a render. Okay, so this was one of me just playing with it, just to see like how far I could really take it. And I thought it was kind of cool. It just looks pretty. Like, it's just cool that you can do that with an array. Like, I don't know. Yeah, it's like that's not a shader. It's an array. That's how it goes. And then I don't know. This is a cool part. This is why I like the loop noise. Gets to the end and pop. Perfect. And then I have one that's like a lot more subtle that I can show you guys. So that would kind of be like the characters looking out the window being like, this isn't good, this isn't good, and the structure isn't strong enough to support these type of dark matter waves. Another one I made that isn't that cool is just like be able to keep it in the middle, kind of like no matter where I have this. I realized it's actually not very helpful, because when you're lining up the scaffolding, you want it, if you have two separate pieces, you want them to line up perfectly, so you want them kind of be on their own type of field, I guess, as it were. And yeah, if you increase these, then the linkages, like each individual spot where they all connect, they move very, very slightly and not in a way that you want. So I think I'd rather actually keep the stay in the middle off. So yeah, that was the main piece that I made, which is pretty cool. And then when I was building scenes, I realized like, man, I need a little bit more control. I think it'd be cool to make one that's easier to control. And honestly, I have no idea. I looked back at this. I made this a few months ago. I have no idea how any of this works. I used a bounding box. I separated things, offset things, grid, invert. Like, I've never used this many math nodes in my life. It must have been just like a crazy day I was having, because I don't remember. But by the end of it, yeah, I got this thing where I can just grab a face, extrude it up, and the instances will just kind of appear where I want them. Is there no... Let's delete that face. Let's get that and fill it. yeah, so I can just kind of grab, and it just goes by the bounding box. So if I grab this one vertice and move it, it just kind of, like, it's always going to be a cube. But still, the thing with that is now I can just kind of, I can control D this and can move it in whatever way I want, and I can kind of like model with individual cubes like that. Obviously, it's a lot less processor friendly. Like it's my computer is, it can't make such a big array with this version as the other one. I don't think. I think I tried that a few months ago when I was really making this, but yeah, that is kind of cool too for smaller scenes. And then the final one I have, and this is the one that like really blew my mind, that geometry nodes can do this. This one's really cool, but it's also so useless. I'm probably going to use it for like 1 or 2 establishing shots. So what I did here was I was like, hey, like I started noticing after I made another array with just like really basic geometry, just with like some cubes. I think I was trying to make this all procedurally, because I thought it'd be better for the better processing, like I'd be able to make them bigger, but I wasn't able to. I just had like cubes, and I was able to make the same like 70 by 70 by 70 grid. That's usually where it kind of like chugs out a little bit. And so I was like, hey, if I just make a bunch of random like 10 by 10 by 10 cubes of random scaffolding, like all of these pieces, and put those on an even bigger array, then I can make an even bigger scaffold chip, which is apparently my goal. So that's what I did. These are all like the instancing pieces. Let's get those back in the center. Turn those off, and then scaffolding ultra far away. Now this is just a 6 by 6 by 6 array. You can see I kind of have like a similar. I have my array here, and it's just, instead of just being 1 by 1.6 by 1, it's 10 by 16.1 by 10. And it takes a little bit longer to load, but you can see I can make this like, make it 33 by 33. Like I said, it takes a second, but like now that it's loaded, okay, well still it's absolutely massive compared to, see, like the camera's even clipping away. Like, look how many pieces of geometry there are. This is insane. Like compared to, where's my, this is the little one I was working with before that I thought was really big. Here, one sec, we're going more on the x-axis now. So this was already really big. Like this looks huge, but take that away, it's enormous. It just keeps going. It's huge. And this one is still like 90 scaffolding pieces deep by like 900 by like 470. And it just works. And at a certain point, it just, like, you go into rendered mode and it just looks like a density cloud. And so honestly, if I'm making like really far away establishing shots of the world with like different colors of scaffolding from when they got different ships. How come I can't? There we go. See, it just looks like there's a volume density in into a cube, but as it resolves, no, you can't really see it. Rendering's done. It still is scaffolding. It's just huge. So yeah, that just kind of blows my mind that geometry nodes, like, it compiles the pieces of geometry, and then since they're instances, you can make however many instances your computer can make, which on my computer it's about like 70 by 70 by 70. I've been finding. So yeah, I think this will be really cool for like, it'd be cool to have a shot where I just like go from really far away. It just kind of looks like a cube or something like that. Hopefully a little bit more janky than a perfect cube, because I think that's a little boring. But and then we go in, and it's it's like just a lot of geometry. So yeah, I think that's basically all I wanted to show you guys in this video. Other than, okay, so here is one of the things I made. And like I said, it's okay. I'm not super excited about it. It's in my mind, this was supposed to be more of like a construction site. This is where Scaffold Corp, the big mining and development conglomerate, is like building new construction. And this is just a little farmer who's lived in this rural area. His families have and ancestors for generations in this like really distant outside sector of Scaffold World. And yeah, and this new big company is moving in and causing a lot of development and really disrupting kind of the life of these rural people. And yeah, it doesn't really read as that though. It just kind of looks like a gas filling and transportation place, and there really should be like actual construction going on, like people doing space welding and stuff like that. So I think I got to revamp it if I want to change it, or if I want it to read better. So yeah, but yeah, I thought it was kind of cool that this farmer, instead of like, they just have like this tarp and this cage, and they put their food in this tarp, and they put the tarp in the cage to like prevent the pressurization from really taking effect. It's just like a lot more of a lightweight solution than maybe more of a lightweight solution than if they had a full-on like metal sphere container, kind of like the gas thing in the back. And yeah, this was an animation. I have like a smoke sim on like when it depressurizes, it's kind of like poof, but it looks really bad. So yeah, that's the first one. Then the second one we have is the farm, and this one's still work in progress. I'm just kind of getting it going still. But yeah, we have this tomato farm, and under the tomatoes you can see there's some water which moves in the light, and this all is just kind of inside a cube, or inside of a cylinder, a spinning cylinder, so that the plants have gravity, and so we can have all these fluorescent lights in the middle that give the plants light. I kind of like that. I don't know, these are really, really cheap old technology for the people on this planet, but they still use it. I'm also happy with the way that they turned out. They look pretty good. Yeah, and this whole thing, if you go from the camera view, the whole thing is spinning like in there's a ton of movies that use that centrifugal whatever. I can't remember. No one knows what force it is. No. Smart people know what force it is, the spinning force. I just don't. Yeah, and so I think that's looking pretty cool, and I just like hooked it up to it's everything outside that's actually spinning and not inside there. Yeah, I don't know, that's kind of it. I just wanted to show people on the internet what I've been working on. It's a bit of a longer video, but long videos are good sometimes. Actually, YouTube is going very long form. Instead of like the short videos of like early YouTube, now we're kind of like, it's like half video, half podcast. It's like a one-person podcast is what YouTube is becoming. Maybe that's my trend analysis. Okay, thank you, bye.